Today, Baba is telling us something which is very interesting. Baba says, if you cannot feel your own pulse, how can you feel the pulse of others? Yes, this is what Baba said, that how would those who don't know their own pulse know the pulse of others? Yes, and Baba is talking to in a small section of the Murli, Baba is talking as the supreme surgeon. And Baba is called Baidyanath in Bhakti. And Baidyanath means the supreme surgeon, the doctor of all doctors. And Baba says that I am the supreme surgeon because I know what is the diagnosis of your spiritual illness, and I know the cure, and I give you the same. So I make you, like myself, I make you the master surgeon. And Baba says that I teach you how to figure out your weakness or how to figure out where the problem lies. And then I also teach you how to use the power of knowledge, the power of remembrance, the power of virtues to heal yourself, to nourish yourself. And Baba says, you should be able to know your own pulse. Are you able to know your own pulse? So are you the master surgeon for yourself? So you see that people are always talking about problems and solutions. So, and there are physical ailments, there are financial ailments, there are social ailments, and then there are spiritual ailments, mental ailments. So, in this world, there are many kinds of diseases that people suffer from. And when it comes to spiritual ailment, so let's say somebody says, I'm not happy, or I don't have self-confidence, or I don't feel worthy enough, or I cannot have a positive attitude towards life and events of life, or, instead of being disciplined, I keep procrastinating. So these are the kinds of spiritual ailments that people suffer from. And then, mostly people will say that I am seeking peace and happiness, and there is no peace and there is no happiness in life. So this is the way they voice their spiritual ailment. And then Baba says that, if somebody told you when you were not in Gyan that I'm not feeling peaceful or now I'm not happy, then, usually for happiness, people say, go for a vacation, holiday, or spend some money, buy some stuff, and, just go out with friends, socialize, that will make you happy. But then now you understand that that's not how you will become happy. Yes, for temporary time, maybe you will experience happiness. And then what happens after that party is over, after that vacation is over, you slump back into that state of unhappiness again. So the solutions that people give for spiritual ailments are not perfect in the world, because nobody is the master, nobody is the supreme surgeon. And Baba says, when we came to Baba, we also were suffering from spiritual diseases. So we were unhappy, peaceless, or, indisciplined, or lack of tolerance, or anything. So there were so many symptoms of that spiritual ailment. And then Baba tells us that I make you. So Baba says, I help those who help themselves. So I teach you how to help yourself. So I make you the master surgeon. Now Baba gives us there are two main methods through which we heal ourselves, or we come back to spiritual health. So one is the knowledge, the injection of knowledge. Yes, and then there is the medicine of yoga. So there are two things: injections. So injections you take for immediate relief, right? So injection just goes into the blood and then it gives you immediate relief. And then you want to build strength, then you have to be you have to take that medication or whatever the doctor gives you for a certain time so that you build strength in the body. Similarly, Baba says, I give you the injection of knowledge, and knowledge is usually about three things: the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of Baba, and the knowledge of drama. And Baba gives all of these three things to us. Now, do we know our pulse, or are we using the wrong injection in the wrong place? What happens if you put the wrong injection? Then the patient, instead of getting better, gets worse. So, sometimes you are using knowledge, but instead of your conditions improving, they are, I'm not talking about the external condition, but the internal condition, that instead of improving, it's getting worse and worse. And why? Because you're not using the right point of knowledge. Sometimes, where you have to use the knowledge of the soul, you are using the knowledge of drama. So, where you have to take ownership of your actions, so the knowledge of the soul tells you that you are the one doing the act, and that act is your creation, and you are the creator of the act. So you have complete ownership over the act. How you want to do something, why you want to do something, how much you want to do something. And if there is a problem with how you are doing something, then you have to rectify it. So you have to use the knowledge of the soul. And instead of that, if you keep using the knowledge of the drama, that I'm just accepting whatever is happening, but maybe that is happening because of your actions. Maybe that reaction that's coming from the other end is because of your own action. And instead of checking your action and changing yourself, if you just keep feeding your ego, saying that I'm a very accepting person and I'm accepting bad behavior and rudeness and everything, then I'm using the knowledge of the drama, that okay, the drama is like this, then it is wrong use of knowledge. Are you getting my point? Yes, I will tell you one incident. So there was this one brother, and he was pretty ill behaved in his office. And he had this thing that if somebody didn't give him immediate attention, he would just get very irritated and react. So, but he was not aware of his own ailment. And then he thought that when he received knowledge, he thought that, okay, so the drama is predestined and everybody is playing their own part. So he started thinking that he is being very compassionate and very knowledgeful in accepting people's rude behavior towards him. But then after some time, that was not possible, because of course, if you are reacting to everything, then people start growing distant from you, and then they start avoiding you, and then you have made an enemy of everybody in the office. And then he came and told me that the Gyan is not working for me. So I said, but what are you working on? What point of Gyan are you applying? So he said, I am just being very accepting. I'm putting a full stop to everything. I said, no, you don't need to put a full stop. You need to check and change your approach to people. So he said, how do you know I have some problem with my approach? So I said, you have this tendency when you ask a question on WhatsApp and it is not immediately answered, then what do? You delete it. Yes. And then when you delete it, then that means that you got affected by, that thing that it was not answered immediately. And then because we understand that you will come around, so we never ask you what did you write or what did you do. And you keep doing this every 3 days. And that is a pattern with you. Do you know this? So he said, no, I don't, I never paid. I thought I don't want to burden you. So I said, if you don't want to burden me, why ask me the question in the first place? So if asking a question is burdening me, then why are you asking me? So if you're asking me, that means that you want an answer. And then when the answer is not immediately received, then there is a reaction. Now, many a times, I'm giving the answer to the question you asked in the class that I conduct, because the answers are not one-worded, but you're not listening to the class either. And I have answered all your questions in the class. But you have never bothered to listen to the class, but you give me a reaction every time by deleting that message, and you don't have any faith in anybody. And if you don't have any faith in the instrument, then how will you have faith in the colleagues? I understand that you don't have faith in the office also. And then you are behaving in the same pattern. And now you are thinking that their misconduct with you is because of them. No, it's because of you. You have to change something about yourself. And then he said, no, but I thought that, it is what it is. And so I said, no, you don't have to use the knowledge of the drama. You have to use the knowledge of karma. You check your behavior, you check your thoughts. Why are you not able to have some faith that, what is faith? What is the definition of faith? Faith is that everybody is doing what they are doing for a reason. I may not know the reason. I may not understand and appreciate the reason. Sometimes somebody can tell you the reason and you're not that broad-hearted or one with broad intellect to even appreciate that reason. But then just having that trust that everybody is doing something because of a reason, that is faith. And Baba says you need to have this kind of faith in souls, that you don't doubt their intentions, you don't, maybe their actions are not perfect, but then their intentions are not bad. And you need to work on the actions, not on the intention. If you start doubting somebody's intention, then that is not soul conscious vision. So, and if you can't hold soul conscious vision for your Nimit teacher, how can you hold soul conscious vision for your colleagues? I am 100% sure you can't do that. Yes, so the thing is, sometimes we don't know our own pulse. We are using the knowledge, the points of knowledge also not accurately. So, Baba has given us many virtues, many powers. So, which power to use, which virtue to use? Because you see, a person studying medicine knows, every medicine, but which medicine to give when and in what dose. Just knowing a list of medicines is not being a good doctor. When you know which medicine to prescribe to which patient, in which dose, at what time, that is what makes you a good surgeon. And Baba says you should be able to do that for yourself first. So when do you need to use silence? When do you need to use introspection? When do you need to use churning on knowledge? When do you need to use, your capacity of being tolerant? When do you need to use patience? In some situations, the only thing you can use is patience. I remember there was this one brother and he wanted to buy some property, and then that person was not ready to sell it. And then he came and told me, Didi, what can I do? What can I do? I've been giving good wishes, and I've been giving, sakash, and I've been giving a lot of, vibrations to the soul. So I said, okay, you keep doing that, but don't do it desperately. I can feel that your voice is having desperation. When you're talking about giving sakash and giving positive vibrations, you cannot do it from a desperate place. Giving sakash and positive vibrations has to come from a place of soul consciousness, from a place of centering within. If you are very attached to the idea of having something, or someone or something being a certain way, then obviously that sakash is not working, because you're very attached to that idea. So then I told him, you can do nothing here, just use your quality of patience. And he said, no, I can do yoga, I can use knowledge, but I don't have patience. So I said, no, this is your time to develop patience then. When somebody is not willing to sell something you want to buy, then what do? You have to have patience. And he had so much trouble having patience. And Baba says patience is a virtue. You need to have patience. And what is patience? Patience is waiting with positivity. So you need to know how to wait. And while waiting, not have, while waiting, you need to be very positive, very forward looking towards that event happening eventually. So I have seen people having patience for 13 years, 14 years for something. I remember there was this one brother and he told me he set up a factory. And he said, when I was 18 years of age, so he set up a factory when he was 31. And he told me that when he was 18 years of age, he looked at this land and he wanted this land. And at that time, it was under government control, and government was not, not releasing it for, not auctioning it for sale. And then he said, I just maintained this faith that I will have that land one day. And I was not in a hurry. I was just, I did all the research, and I kept, very silently, I kept gathering the information and making contact with the right people. And 13 years later, the government announced that this land is open for auction. And then he had all the contacts. So he took that land at a very low price and he set up a factory there. So Baba says that you need to know when to use which virtue, when to use the power to face, when to use the power to tolerate, when to just have humility, when to be a balak, when to be a malik. You should know all of that. And if you don't know your own pulse, and many times it's not about just what to do, but then knowing that your problem is not the lack of understanding, but the lack of power. Many times there is so much imbalance between Gyan and Yoga. So you understand everything, you know the solution, you are very accurate in your Gyan, but you don't have the power to do it. If you are the person suggesting something to somebody and they do it, they get 100% result. They are able to overcome their weaknesses because of that. But when you are trying to apply it to yourself, you're not able to do that. And that is because there is imbalance between Gyan and Yoga. So knowledge you have, you know the problem, you know the solution. But until and unless you have yoga power, you cannot implement that solution. So Baba says you must know, you should be able to know your own pulse, and anything that you speak or suggest to somebody has to come from a place of experience. And if you don't know your own pulse, and if you have not used Baba's knowledge, power, virtues, or sometimes sometimes you realize that you have not done enough good karma, and that's why your stock of blessings is very less. Yes, so if you are, and if you feel that you are remembering Baba, and then you are also doing the right thing, but then still you are not able to overcome your state of peacelessness, or you're not able to come to that state of contentment and happiness, and situations still bother you, and you feel that there are obstacles. So there will be situations, but if you feel there are obstacles, that means, and obstacles are not ending, they are just increasing day by day, and that burden is increasing, that means you don't have a fair stock of good wishes. You don't have a fair share of blessings, and that will happen when you do seva. So you should know your pulse, and you should be able to treat yourself, not just knowing your pulse, but also knowing and using the knowledge that the surgeon Baba is giving us, and going back to our state of spiritual health, and then you will be able to help others also. And otherwise, you will end up misguiding somebody. Otherwise, you will not be able to. So of course, Baba says you can donate jewels of knowledge, but giving somebody the course is the highest form of donation. So just telling them what Baba talks about the soul, and knowledge of the drama, knowledge of Baba, this is very important, and it's the greatest donation. Baba says you do that. But when somebody comes and tells you about specific problems, then you will be able to help them only if you have felt your pulse. So you will be able to know their pulse, and give them some directions, and that is being a master surgeon. So Baba says that you should be in this Swaman, know your pulse and know the pulse of others, and give them the directions that make them heal themselves. And sometimes, just like very egoistic patients. So do you know, sometimes the patients think they know more than the doctor, and usually it happens with antibiotics. Have you seen that the doctor will prescribe you antibiotics for 5 days, and then you think that no, I'm smarter than the doctor, and then you think I started feeling better in 3 days, so why should I unnecessarily burden my body with more medicine and then stop it in 3 days, and then there's a relapse again after 10 days. So this is what happens when you think you're smarter than the doctor. And Baba says that sometimes, when you give somebody some very good direction also, they will not listen to you. But then that is on them. But in order that you are able to guide somebody properly, and you are able to help them diagnose their problems, and diagnose what's inside them that's pulling them down, and also helping them use knowledge and yoga and the power of virtues and seva to bring them to spiritual health, is an idea that you can do this if you are a good master surgeon. Okay. Baba says charity begins at home. We are good for outsiders, but not much good for the house members. What can we conclude from this? It is because, we are still in that us and them. So, sometimes the us is better than the them, and then sometimes the us is worse than the them. So, it's all body consciousness. So, you have to work on soul conscious drishti. This is also a soul, that is also a soul. So, I have to behave. As I have to use Baba's Srimad that Baba has given me for using towards a soul. So whether they live in the house with me or they walk on the street with me, it's the same thing. So I have to keep my thoughts, words, and actions pure for everybody. And this, when we get caught up in this is my family member, then my gives rise to expectations and then disappointments. And that is why you take sorrow and you give sorrow. Wherever you take sorrow, you give sorrow. And you take sorrow where there is this I and mine consciousness. So stop taking sorrow and then you will stop giving sorrow. And that will happen when you change it to soul consciousness. So this is how, you understand your ailments, feel your pulse. And then Baba's Murli today is about seva. And Baba is talking about children who have interest in seva. Yes, so if you have interest in taking your full inheritance from Baba, then you have to have interest in all 4 subjects. Yes, on knowledge, yoga, dharana, and seva. So, some children, most children, they have only interest in knowledge. Yes, some have interest in knowledge and yoga. Some have interest in only yoga, no knowledge. They don't even care for the murli. They will just sit and remember a laser beam or a bulb or a lamp. That's not Baba, of course. If you don't value his murli, you of course don't understand Baba. So they keep connecting to that bulb light, laser light, whatever. So that is, some people do that. And then even I'm talking about Brahmins. And then some have no interest in divine virtues. They say that, my old sanskar is my treasure, I'm not going to leave it. And whenever, I remember there was this one brother, and whenever there would be a murli about being sweet and not getting angry, he would ask me 100 questions about that. He would say, but what do we do when this situation happens? And what do we do when that situation happens? So one day I told him, you know what, bhai? You want me to tell you that it is okay sometimes to be angry and sometimes to not be sweet, but that is not Srimad, and I will not tell you that. So please don't ask me these questions because your intention is that only. So then he started laughing and he said, I have so much resistance towards this idea of being polite and nice to everybody, I cannot tell you. And when Baba talks about it, I feel like, why is Baba saying this? Baba shouldn't say this. And I feel like Baba shouldn't tell me not to be angry and to be sweet. And this is what, happens when we do not have interest in imbibing divine virtues. And then some children, they don't have interest in seva. They just absolutely hate when Baba talks about, doing seva through body, mind, wealth, or opening centers. And then they just feel like, somebody put chili on their wounds and it burns them very badly. And they just don't like the points of seva. And then one person, they asked me, why is Baba always saying, give your body, mind, wealth, give your body, mind, wealth? So I said, what is your problem if Baba is saying it? Why are you so disturbed? You're not giving anything, one, and then you're getting disturbed also. So, why do we get disturbed? Because we have no interest in that subject. But Baba says, If you want to be the master of heaven, you have to have interest in all the four subjects. And the sign of somebody who has interest in the subject of seva, Baba says, that soul will have no other interest. They will like to do seva. And Baba gives a very good idea in understanding today. Baba says, just like a teacher likes to teach. Yes, why? Because the swaman is, I am a teacher. Yes, so I remember there was, during the COVID lockdown, there was this one brother and he was a mountaineer. So he introduced himself like a mountaineer. And he was so miserable when he couldn't climb mountains at that time because it was all, restricted. So he said, I said, so is it because you are in need of money? Or is it because, of some problems you're facing because you're not able to go to the mountains and not run your business or whatever? So he said, no, I have enough money. All my resources are fine. But when I'm not able to go there, I feel like, who am I? Because I am a mountaineer. So Baba says that Baba gives us swaman for the soul. And one of the swaman and the most important ones is, I am a Vishwa Sevadhari. I am a world server. And anybody who has accepted all the swamans that Baba gives knows that when Baba says, I am a Vishwa Sevadhari, and you are my child and you are the world server too, then you accept that swaman and then you feel like service is a natural, integral part of my life. My BK life, my Brahman life means I'm a world server. And you will not feel good if you don't do some service every day. So Baba says this is one of the signs of children who have interest in the subject of seva. And then Baba says they will never get tired when doing seva, because you get tired where there is not the labor of love. What you do for love never makes you tired. What you love doing never makes you tired. Yes, so if you don't love something, then it makes you tired. So those who have interest in seva, they never get tired with seva. And even if, their body is tired or their throats are, exhausted by speaking, they will never be tired. And then Baba says, those who are sevadharis, they are generous hearted. They know that, I'm going to become a devata through this seva. And I'm creating the world where I will rule. So I have to use my body, mind and wealth to create that world. And they will never feel that, somebody else should do something and I should just, put a very little cooperation. No, they will know that when they know the law, that those who create are the ones who rule. So if I'm going to rule in the new world, I will create it through my body, mind and wealth. And they are generous hearted. They never shy away from giving their body, mind and wealth in seva. And then Baba says that seva is done in a bondage-free atmosphere. So, sometimes people give you some facility, but then they try to impose on you, that, you do it this way or that way. But seva will always be done on Baba's Shrimat. And And just because somebody gave a flat or somebody gave a bungalow or somebody gave a space for seva, that doesn't mean that that person is the owner and then seva will be done according to how they want it. No. Seva is Baba's seva. And Baba says if somebody is not attached to that property, then even if he doesn't write it in Baba's name, it's okay because we just need it for seva. But if somebody has attachment and then they start poking their nose in everything, then then they should give it in writing, because otherwise it becomes a very big problem. And I remember there was this one brother, and he offered some space for seva, and then he said that I will give you that space, but when my brother-in-law and my sister, they visit from abroad, then they will stay in that space. So I said, and who are they? So they are, they are living in America, and then when they come, they will live there, and they will eat, they will cook whatever they want, they will eat whatever they want, and then so I said, no, we cannot open a center like that. So he said, that will happen only once in a year. So I said, no, but we cannot afford that, because we will create a vibration there, and then everything, we will lose everything, right? So we will not work in that place. So Baba says that you cannot, so seva has to be bondage free. And anybody who gives something for seva has to totally listen to the instrument. The instrument will take care of Srimad, and they will do it according to Srimad, and nobody should interfere in that. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.
Baba today says that children come here, few children come here as guests. So it is a checking for us that do I belong to Baba? And if I belong to Baba, I'm the member of that, being the member of the family, it becomes my responsibility to take over his responsibility. When I am being with my father, his work is my work.
Yes.
So I at that time, I cannot, when I'm a guest, I just don't know my responsibilities. I just stay aloof of whatever is being done, and like I don't become a part of it.
Yes.
So Baba says, don't come here as a guest.
Yes. Om Shanti. Yes, anybody?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Today Baba taught us about pure thoughts, words and deeds.
Yes.
And it can only be possible to create pure thoughts in soul conscious stage. In body conscious, no. And one thing Baba insisted on seva. Seva subject. I would like to tell about my patterns. I just like to talk about Baba to everyone I see from very starting. Whomever I met, I like to share about Baba. And my family members got irritated sometimes. This is over. We have to complain about you. And about yoga, Didi, I was till last year, I was just sitting and remembering Baba in yoga. But last few months back, I have started experimenting with yoga and using thought power.
Correct.
And generally, it happens that sometimes I am not able to create any thought, but help comes anyways.
Right.
And practicing more on this, Didi.
Good. Thank you.
And wherever I go, whoever comes in front of me, at least I give them drishti. So in remembrance of Baba, seeing them as point of light or a body of light. In this way I do this.
Thank you. So one thing you will understand about seva is when you serve souls who are, who are not directly a part of your everyday life, you serve them through words. But those who see you 24/7, you serve them through your personality, your face, and your behavior. Yes, and if you use too much words for them, then what happens is they get put off. But if they are impressed by your personality, and I will tell you, when I worked in the office, I never talked about knowledge with any of my colleagues because they are seeing me, right? I'm wearing this dress and going. They are seeing me engage with every person in every situation. So there were people who came and asked, we want to do this. And then slowly a class was created. And I have never, in that whole time, I have never gone and talked to somebody and said, you do the course. No. But when we are there present, then our personality, our behavior should speak for ourselves. Okay?
Yes, this is
Shanti.
true, Didi.
Yes. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. Om Shanti.
Anybody else would like to share? That's it. Okay. Om Shanti.